What we're looking at here is actually a living council circle in Charlevoix, Michigan. This council circle was shaped in the early 1800s by a Chippewa chief. It's basically was part of my incentive. I've been honored enough to be with Native Americans, have them teach me about council circles from the past that actually existed. One existed here in Shiloh Park. This one happens to be in Michigan. So our circle today that we formed on the bluff overlooking Lake Michigan is based on this diameter of circle. We're an 80-foot circle, and these particular trees were actually at 10 feet, all altered to shape to go outward in all directions. So in other words, to the entire universe. Our entrance tree and my knowledge of the entrance trees for the council circle came to be directly from Andrew Johnson, past president of the American Indian Center and currently the co-founder of the Native American Chamber of Commerce for Illinois. Andrew accompanied me at a prior council circle at Crow Island Park, my first landscape architect project for a council circle, and he explained to me the importance of entering the circle from the east, or what he referred to as the beginning. So we did that today, and I had with me Verlin Spreeman, Menominee elder, who also worked with Dan Malone on the archaeological survey for the actual site. The site wasn't accidentally picked. I wanted it to be pertinent both to Waukegan and the Native Americans who came before us. So I couldn't have been happier to be able to plant the easterlymost tree with a Native American from our community.
Okay. And this panel.
In this photograph, we see Hilda Little Fawn William. Hilda's father was Scott T. Williams, known as Thundercloud. He actually was the co-founder of the American Indian Center in Chicago. I had the privilege of meeting Hilda after my book was published 8 years ago. She saw an interview with Rich King on WGN. It clicked memories of her traveling with her dad to these sites. She contacted me. I happened to have an exhibit downtown that very week. It was huge. We met. She brought me photos, and the rest. We've had the privilege of going to different states, and actually I've taken her to trail marker trees that are still alive on private property and let her stand where the old photographs of her father, of him standing with Dr. Raymond Jansen, who's in the large photo to our right. So this is actually the Lake County trail marker tree photographed by Bess Dunn in her 1912 photographic study, who our Lake County Museum is now named after. I think that's pretty pertinent. Again, she did a study of a lot of the Lake and Cook County trees. And this one went down in the 60s. I was able to see it when I was younger. So I based the sculpture in bronze on our Lake County trail marker tree. Now we have a version that's 7 foot tall. This is some of my other historically related work. This is Captain George Wellington Streeter, the namesake of Streeterville by Navy Pier. Very colorful man. He obviously had a lot of people that believed in him and followed him, and he had a little bit of a problem with the establishment. But regardless, the man lasted for 36 years. He helped develop the very land that we all enjoy today, and it kept it from being privately owned beachfront. So that was the historical sculpture. It's on the architectural walking tour now. These were interviews with Janet Davies on the trail marker trees. This is on private property with Hilda at a tree. Rich King, right when the book was released, did a nationwide WGN interview that was excellent. He traveled with me through Lake County at trees and sculptures, and it really helped promote the study and advance it. That's the reason Hilda actually met me. She saw that on television. And this I'm really proud of. Again, I'm really proud of the book, but since the book's come out, it's inspired more people to step forward with more photographs, more proof, more articles. People like Dan Malone coming to my book signing at Barnes & Noble, giving me a verification of Sharp's maps and why the Y mark was on there. It was to indicate the trail trees. I had only heard about that. I couldn't prove it. Dan proved it. Things like that are more important to me than he said, she said, or my granny told me, or my grandpa told me. So when you can have photographs of a graduate from Northwestern who's got a degree in botany, then he gets his doctorate in geology, has a successful 85-year career, and Raymond Jansen went to 13 states over a 10-year period in the mid-20s to late 30s. When I read that as a boy or a young man in my 30s, I decided I'm going everywhere this man went, try to hook links up to why he was there, see what I could find, and then go on from there. I had no idea it would be an additional 28 years. But it was, without men like that, we wouldn't have had enough of this information recorded.
Okay.
I guess that's my point. And lastly, this is just another event that happened here in Lake County. There was an installation again of a bronze trail marker tree on a known Native American trail, the Mugwanago Trail, in the center of Antioch. So it wasn't random. I actually, once again, had Dan Malone, our Lake County archaeologist, research to make sure I was saying this correctly, and he proved that Sharp had the Mugwanago Trail on the map. So I located the bronze. It's in the center on Main Street in a small park right off of the known Native American trail based on a Lake County trail marker tree. So I couldn't be happier, and there's a plaque explaining it. And that'll just encourage more people not only to learn about the trees, but to learn about their own history. We're going to try and incorporate other things about Antioch's history in that little mini park area.